CNN hosted what they call a town hall with AOC and Bernie Sanders, centered around the government shutdown, inequality, and truly how bad Republicans are. The whole show felt like a pressure campaign, with two progressive heavyweights trying to force Trump and Republicans generally into caving into their radical demands. Spoiler alert, they did not succeed by any means necessary. This is going to be a good one, so make sure you like, comment, watch to the end, and subscribe for more daily news updates. It means the world to me, and don't forget to share. From the start, AOC and Sanders both leaned heavily on the rhetoric to corner Republicans. They repeatedly framed the government shutdown as the Republicans' fault. They have also been very implicit in their speeches, saying things like Republicans have zero excuse, must act immediately, must meet all of their demands, or face political consequences. They are demanding sweeping changes. Things like Medicare for all, everyone, even including undocumented people, massive wealth taxes, a full expansion of social programs, and they even insisted to the Republicans that they pick up the phone to negotiate on their terms. Considering all of the elements of their demands and negotiation, we can all tell that that's a lie. The Republicans have been trying to settle this problem for a very long time. They just wanted it to be clean, cut, and done. But the Democrats are the ones dragging it on. Even in the interview with Bernie Sanders, while talking, he even mentioned social media's influence and claimed that the Republicans are more effective because all of their friends own the major platforms, while misattributing the platform X ownership, which absolutely makes no sense. It's because social media's influence is from everyone. Everyone has access to it. Even the Republicans and the Democrats, they both have both parties being able to put out the information they want the people to see. Maybe it's more so the people finally seeing for themselves that what the Republicans are doing and saying feels a bit more right or makes a little bit more sense than the way the Democrats are approaching it. So when the questions turn to Democratic leadership, such as Schumer, Pelosi, etc., what did? They shifted the blame right into the Republicans, pretending that the whole time that their own hands are tied. And when asked about internal accountability, what did? They got defensive. And what's one thing we know about people who get defensive? Most times, they get defensive when they know they're in the wrong. People who are right don't have to try so hard to prove that they are right. And this was basically the entire interview. It all was just very hard to watch, if I'm being honest. Let's start with this clip of AOC and Bernie Sanders having a literal meltdown when asked about the challenge of Chuck Schumer.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
All right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is what
we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
You have a country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. She'll run what she wants.
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world, right? All right, you tell me why we're the only nation not to guarantee health care to all people, the only nation not to guarantee paid family and medical leave, why we have a $7.25 an hour minimum wage, why we have 800,000 people sleeping out on the street, why we have a president who denies the reality of climate change, why we have oligarchs on top who have more and more power every day. Let's talk about that issue, not her own political future. She'll decide that.
As you all saw in that clip, it really was a true literal meltdown. They're up there stumbling over words. They look like they're losing their minds. There were a lot of points that stuck out to me in that video. The first being, yeah, I can agree. A lot of the media keep asking about the primary, challenging Chuck Schumer, all of that. And for me, yes, somebody might challenge him, somebody might not. But who cares right now? We do have more pressing issues that Sanders did lay out. Education, healthcare, finances, housing. And I will say that should be the main focus. How about we focus on our U.S. citizens first? Majority of all of the homelessness we face are veterans and American people. We need to get them right before we can start helping others. We need to make sure that our own people have housing and healthcare and money and jobs. Even the minimum wage in certain places, it is tremendously low. No one can make a living off of that. And that's what I have to say on that matter. And before we move on, I do want to throw in, the way they were up on stage, it was comedic. I feel like they could have expressed themselves in a much more professional way for politicians, because that was actually kind of crazy. It felt like they were all over the place and didn't really know exactly what their focus was going to be or how to deliver it. If AOC does take Schumer's seat, okay, are we going to be able to see any real differences or change happen? Next, I want to look at this tweet, so let's read it. ACO tries to act like she's leader of the Democratic Party, and she goes on a wild rant where she makes no sense like usual. Bernie's face says it all. AOC says, "I'm ready to negotiate. Nobody cares. It's up to the Senate. AOC is irrelevant."
We're able to resolve this as quickly as possible. I'm ready to negotiate. Bernie's ready to negotiate. I mean, we are all open and ready to.
Is anyone actually negotiating right now?
No, but
we hear from
let me
and
reiterate
Democrats
one point. Republicans aren't in town. How do you
House
negotiate with people who refuse even to show up to do their job? They're on vacation for what, a month now?
Yes. House Republicans have been on vacation for over.
But the Republican senators are here, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, we've had him on. He said, "We've done our job. We passed the clean CR in the House. It's now up to the Senate to make these negotiations."
They need to pick up a phone, Caitlin. They need to pick up a phone. They're saying that they're doing all this work. They are twiddling their thumbs and talking to each other. It is actually an unconscionable abdication and refusal to work. They refuse. I've never seen people who hate working so much in my life. I mean, genuinely, they won't even pick up the phone. They won't. If I were Mike Johnson, you should be in that office negotiating with Hakeem Jeffries every damn day until we reopen this government. And any day that you don't do that is a failure. It is a failure. And until there is accountability for people who refuse to work, then we're going to continue to be in this cycle. So, you know, in the Senate, the Senate Majority Leader is John Thune. He should be negotiating with Chuck Schumer. President Trump should be having congressional leaders in the White House. Do you see that every day? No, you don't, because they're playing golf and they're going to Mar-a-Lago, and the House and Republicans in the House have been on vacation for weeks now. We are here in Washington, D.C. We are ready to work. We are ready to strike a deal. We're not here to just be my way and the highway about everything. But what we're also not going to accept is the complete collapse of the American healthcare system, so that just because the Republican Party has decided to take 1 million federal workers.
Lastly, I want to look at this clip of AOC responding to a question by a citizen who's asking if us taxpayers should be paying for the medical care of undocumented people.
Do you think that taxpayers should be paying for the medical care of immigrants that are in the country illegally? Thank you.
Well, we already know, and this is a common lie that Republicans have been repeating, that this shutdown is about Democrats trying to provide health care to the undocumented. And we already know that it is federal law and federal statute that undocumented people cannot be covered by the ACA, they cannot be covered by Medicaid, they cannot be covered by Medicare. Period. That is the law of the land. There are plenty of federal laws on the books. Now, the vice president has been trafficking this other misconception, saying that the emergency Medicaid program is providing health care to undocumented people. That too is a complete, just, I don't even know, whole cloth storytelling, we should say. The truth of the matter is that we have a federal law, as it should be, that any person who walks into a hospital in desperate need of medical attention receives that medical attention regardless of their insurance status and regardless of who they are. And I don't know about you, but me as a human being, I don't want to live in a world where if a human being is struck by a car or is getting rushed into a hospital, that the people in the ER surgical room are asking for your insurance information or asking for documents before they save your life.
But can I ask you on this to follow up? Because you said that it is federal law that people, undocumented immigrants, can't get Medicare, Medicaid, the Obamacare subsidies. Do you believe that should be the law, though? Or do you think undocumented immigrants should have access to federally funded health care?
I believe personally that health care is a human right. I believe that every person should be able to go to the doctor. But I believe that right now, federal law is the federal law. And that absolutely, that U.S. citizens and people who pay into our programs deserve to be covered by these programs. And I mean, once again, I do believe that the federal laws that we have on the books are appropriate.
But if
the
you
right
could
ones
choose,
to
do you believe that should be changed?
Pardon?
If you could choose, do you believe that the federal law should be changed?
I don't. I believe in a single-payer healthcare system where if you go in.
Viewing that clip, I can say that they're asking for a lot of things that American people will be at the end and the bottom of and just get the scraps of. And that's not fair to people who make this country what it is. The ones who are here, who are born here, who raise their whole life here, their families, they work here to make it a better place. So yes, they can ask for those things, but they're asking for too much. They want everything. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on KW Lawholic.